Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining me for another Wednesday video. I'm Marg from Creative Stamping with Marg. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from St. Albert, Alberta, Canada. Today we are enjoying sunshine finally. We've had nothing but rain. I think we had 2 days of rain that equaled as much rain as we normally get in a month. So thankfully, I didn't have any water issues at my house, but I know a lot of people that did. So hopefully you're not one of them. Today we're casing the catalog. I found a card layout that I liked and I thought I'm going to use it today. So we're using the new Relaxing Waterside suite and some various other products. And I have Stampin' Up! News on my desk, so let's go down and have a look. All right. So you can see I have the catalog on my desk. If you live in Canada and you don't have a demonstrator and you don't have a paper copy of the catalog, if you would like it, you can contact me. My contacts are all up here, my email and my Stampin' Up! Store, and I will get one to you. So we'll put that aside for a second while I give you the Stampin' Up! News. You can probably see on the corner of my desk I've got the Berry Botanical Vellum sitting here. That is a product of the month. It was May's product of the month, and it is still available. You get 12 sheets, 3 each of 4 vellums, and they're really nice and heavy. So it's a great buy. I should have split those 2 flower ones up because they look like they're very, very busy, but that's the 4 sheets. I've shown it to you before. So we've got that. Unfortunately, the Wild Bunch stamps that was the product of the month for June is already gone in English. So that one is not available anymore. I think that's the first one that's sold out before the month is over. So that's interesting. Okay. So there's the flyer for the Berry Botanical Vellum. If your order with Stampin' Up! Is $100 or more, you'll automatically be asked if you want to add that for $7. So that's the paper. The paper pumpkin subscription for June, or I guess it's July, sorry. Hooray for birthdays. I've shown it to you before again. It looks like a really neat one, and it's stand-up easel cards, which is really interesting. So they're fun folds. 9 cards, 3 each of 3 designs. Your Stampin' Spot is Tim and Tiger, and I think it's a really nice one. Hooray for birthdays. So if you are interested in it, you need to subscribe before July the 10th. Okay, and there is add-on dies that go with July, August, and September. Well, they're called the Detailed Flora Dies add-on. They are $18, and that's what they come with: a circle, flowers, leaves, 2 different leaves. So I think that's really nice. Okay, and they will go with 3 months kits. Okay, please check the last chance list. Again, I keep saying that every week, but there's lots of good things still on there. And, oh, there's a new craft class coming, Christmas in July, July the 16th. If you go online, you'll see it under craft classes. It's called Pretty Poinsettia. It is going to run live July 16th at 2, but if you purchase the class, you will own it, and you can look at it whenever you want to, because it is on a private Facebook page. Okay, let's get on to our card. I did have the catalog here because I marked my page. And I told you we are using Relaxing Waterside stamps and dies. To do this, we are also using beautiful gallery paper and the natural Hues paper. So in the catalog on page 40, if you look at the top, there's a card there. Just move my hand here so I can get at it. There is a card with the Adirondack chair, and I really like the layout of this card. Now, I'm using totally different products other than the chair, but I like the way they laid it out. So that was my inspiration for our card today. It's a great resource if you're looking for ideas to go to your catalog. Okay, today we're using Pecan Pie, and it's the standard card, 5.5 by 8.5, folded at 4 1/4, and it will open the regular way. I feel like I'm a bit crooked here, sorry. I have a piece of Very Vanilla that is 2 3/4 by 4 1/4 that I am putting on the inside. I have some scrap Very Vanilla for my greeting and some scrap pecan pie. I stamped, I will put my stamp set there. I stamped the grasses, pecan pie on Very Vanilla. And then I took my blending brush and I took pecan pie and I sort of went over them so that they aren't so very vanilla, if you know what I mean. They're not so stark. They blend a bit better. So I like the look of that. I did cut out some of the bulrushes. This is from the dies. So there's a bulrush die, and I cut it out of, let's put it onto here. I cut it out of pecan pie, and then I took my Old Olive blend, and I just did the leaves in the color. So I hope you can see the difference there, just to give them a little, so they stand out a little bit better. Okay, and I did stamp some of the birds. So there is a stamp here for the flying seagull, and I did him on, I've done a few of them. I did him on, oh dear, early espresso paper with early espresso ink, and I've got them going the other way too, and I'm going to show you how I did that if you don't remember. And I'm not using the traditional Adirondack chair. This is the traditional Adirondack chair that looks like this. I'm using the one, and I'm just going to call it a deck chair. It has the flat back. So I cut it out, and I know I've shown you how to do this. A different day I did show you how to do that. I'll put it on here. I cut him out of, let's see, Mossy Meadow, I think is my, I was going to say Old Olive, but it's not. It's Mossy Meadow, and it's the flat back chair, but you can use the Adirondack. It's the base of the chair is exactly the same. Okay, so there's that. And my greetings, I used the banner punch for my greeting, and I used that. And then I cut another one out of pecan pie just as an accent. So we've got all these pieces to put together. So I'm just going to move it off of here. Oh, and I didn't mention that I have a piece of the Natural Hues specialty paper that is for, I need my ruler here. I think I cut it, yes, 4 by 5.5. So it's going top and bottom and just leaving a little bit of an edge of the pecan pie so that you can see it. And so that's the lightest. You get 3 shades in that Natural Hues. This is the lightest one. And I have a piece of the gallery, beautiful gallery paper. And I used this sheet here, and this is still available. This sheet right here, and I used this corner of it. So I just cut this piece out, and this piece is 4, so it's the same width, but the height is different. I cut a square, 4 by 4. You could cut it any way you want, but looking back at our inspiration, and again, this is strictly inspiration, doesn't have to be taken perfectly. You can see how they've used designer series paper, the plaid, and you can see a little bit of the edges of your card on either side, and then they've cut another piece of designer series paper for the background. So I just did it with this from what I want to see on my designer series paper, because, you know, did I want to see more of the grasses or did I want to see more of the sky? Because you can see what the piece is like. Okay, so you can cut it any way you want, of course, but again, this was just my inspiration. All right, so let's get to putting this together. We pretty much got all the pieces here. And like I said, I will show you what I did with the birds, but we'll get to that in a minute. So this is very simple. It's all going to be just glued down flat. I may use some dimensionals to put the grasses and that up, but I hadn't decided yet. We'll do that together. So again, this piece goes top to bottom and just a little bit of the edge showing. And I see I'm not particularly straight, cutting here, so I would make it come off the bottom, and then I can just trim it off. Okay, so I'm going to trim off the bottom here. Just need bigger scissors. Okay, I see I have a little edge here, so I'm just going to just go along and trim off that little tiny bit that's sticking out like that. There we go. So there's our natural Hues piece on there. Now, our designer series paper, you can put it anywhere you want. They seem to center theirs on my inspiration piece in the catalog, but it doesn't really matter. What I wanted to do was put these birds flying. I just have to get my birds here. I wanted to put some birds here. So I thought I might put a couple of birds flying. So I didn't know if I wanted them kind of off the paper. So that sort of dictates where I want. And I also, because of my greeting, I want my greeting on the bottom. And I used Today Is Your Day from Relaxing Waterside. And I've already stamped it in pecan pie on Very Vanilla. And I punched out a pecan pie the same. And I'm just going to layer them like that. And my thought was I would just put them here. Today is your day. So I need room for that at the bottom. And I want room at the top. So you see, mine's not quite centered. I think I will go ahead and put it on just a little higher to the top. And I am putting it down flat. Okay. And it matches up side to side with our piece, like that. And then I've got room for my greeting. I may put my greeting up on dimensionals. And then the birds, I'm going to put the birds on here somehow. I haven't quite decided. I didn't want them to be flying exactly the same. My chair, I thought I was going to put my chair down here like this. And you can stick your chair over a little bit. I thought that might look good. Except I have all those grasses and everything. So I've done the grasses and the bulrushes. So let's see how I want to do this. I thought these grasses could go behind, but now I'm thinking, do I want them over here? Put the grasses behind like that and move my chair a little bit and maybe have the bulrushes here. And see, you've got bulrushes going one way and bulrushes going the other way. So I thought maybe having it like that and the bulrushes on this side, maybe like that. It's just a rough idea. And I think that looks okay. So I think I'll do my greeting first, seeing that's the easiest part to do. I'm going to just glue it together. So I'm just putting my glue on this, and I'm going to put it right on top of my other piece and make sure that it's straight and none of the pecan pie is showing up behind. Good, like that. And I think I will put it up on dimensionals. I just have my minis here, but that's okay. I can use them. The same as anything else. Just use a few more, that's all. Okay. There we go. So I'm going to put that on the bottom there. Take our backings off like this. And then do my arranging of my chair and the grasses. And so I kind of liked this right at the edge. I think I might, whoops, center it on that and have it like that. Today is your day, like that. Okay, if I want these grasses to be here and my bulrushes, just not sure. this. If I put that like that, that kind of looks good. So I think what I'll do is move this over. I'm just going to lay the bulrushes on top of the grasses. So a little glue at the bottom, and I don't want them flopping too much, because if you leave, I like the dimension when they are sort of loose, but when they're put in and out of an envelope, sometimes they get caught, and that's kind of a problem. So I'm just going to glue them down a little bit, and I'm going to put them just over here, I think, like that. And then that's going to be here. And then I'm going to put my chair like that. And then the other set of bulrushes on the other side, I think. And I might just put them like that. Yeah, I think that looks good. So when I go to put this on, I just want to make sure, again, I'll move this out of the way, that the grasses aren't overhanging the left-hand side. So I will just put them very carefully. And again, I'm gluing them pretty much down. And I kind of like them hanging off the paper a little bit. I like the look of that. And then our chair, like that. And then these. I think that looks good. Now, to glue the chair down, just a little bit of glue on the legs and this bar. And this is a wider piece. Your arms, you just have to remember that there is a lot of slits when you cut this to give it a wood grain look. So the glue sometimes comes kind of gooshing out, but it will dry, so not to worry. Okay, that's going on here like that. And then I'm going to put those ones there. Just bring this in, and I'll be able to put this on a little easier on my silicone mat, and then it don't make a mess of things. Don't necessarily have it all over my hands. Okay, pick this up, and I wanted to put it kind of right there, and I thought I could position them a little bit like that. There. Okay, my birds aren't on there yet, but there's our scene so far. I like it. And then the birds. I'm going to have the birds in the sky here, and I think I like that one kind of going off the paper. And then this one, maybe I'm going to just tip him a little bit so they're not exactly the same flying across there. Okay, so I will put this one on, and I will show you what I did for the inside, because I've got the bird going the opposite direction on the inside. So I'll show you how I did that. Reverse stamping. And I forget about it sometimes when you have something like this that you would like something to go the opposite direction. We can use our silicone mat for that. So I will show you how I did that. And it's really good to watch other demonstrators when they're making their cards, because some of these ideas come up and I think, oh, I'd forgotten all about that. So for the inside of my card, I'm going to do this, and I'm not stamping anything on it right now. I could stamp "Have a great birthday," because that's here. "Relax," because on the front I put "Today is your day." "Here's to a new chapter," "Happy Father's Day," which of course is past, and the word "Dad." But I decided I would do the grasses again, and it sort of mimics what's on the outside of the card. And then my bird, and I wanted my bird to go the opposite direction, so I thought I would put my bird up there like that. So what I did is I did die cut the bird out of early Espresso cardstock first. So this is the bird, not stamped. This is just the bird. So I've cut him out already. This may be hard for you to see because he's dark, but what I did was that. What you do is you take your early Espresso ink and the bird stamp, that's him there, going that way, but I want him to go the other way. So I'm going to turn my bird over because I want him to go that way. I'm going to stamp it, get it inked up, stamp it onto here, onto my silicone mat, and quickly reverse it and use it as the stamp. Now, I know this is hard for you to see because it is the silicone mat on top of my early espresso, but I can see it. Can you see there? There it is there. I've stamped right onto my bird. Let's see how it did. Now you've got a little ink on here, which you'll have to clean off, but there's the bird going the opposite direction. So I think that's a great tip, and I forget about these things. So anyway, I do have a bird ready to go, and I'm going to put him on the inside here. So I'm going to put this on the inside, and I thought I might have him just going like that, right there. I'm going to get rid of that ink, and this just down here like that, just to give it some decoration on the inside. So I think I'll glue this down first. And I think I didn't stamp on this, and I'm thinking maybe I should, because I think I will have a great birthday. I will stamp it only because I'm going to glue it in. You know how sometimes I don't glue it in, and I just put a little bit of glue runner on it, but I think I will put have a great birthday. So just let me get my block here. And we will do it. I did it in pecan pie on the front, so I'm going to do it in pecan pie on the inside, and I have my pecan pie right here. So that's great, just like that. So then the card will be ready. Now, I'm just going to place my pieces again, just so I can sort of see what I'm doing here. Where do I want that to be? Maybe I'll put it right down here. Have a great birthday. All right, so that's done. Then I'm going to glue it into the inside of my card, and it's ready to go. So I think this is a good masculine card. Oopsie. I'm just going to center this basically like that. I'm going to put a little glue on the grasses like this. Just like that, and a little bit of glue on my bird. Okay, he's going this other way, and I'm just going to put him like that. There. So that's the inside of our card. That's the outside, and looks somewhat like my inspiration card that I got from the catalog. So that's, you know, sometimes when you're stuck and you don't know what to do, flip through your catalog and see if you can find some great ideas, because there's lots of inspiration in our catalogs. All right, so that's the card. I did make another variation of it using retired product, but I did use the Adirondack chair out of Relaxing Waterside with this one. Move this out of the way. This paper, I'm sure you'll remember, Meandering Meadows, and I made this one. So now this one, because I wanted the full scenery piece, I just cut it the full length, and I added the yellow behind on the garden green. The chair, if you have wood grain paper, I cut the chair out of wood grain. And again, that's retired paper, but I cut the wood grain, the chair out of wood grain, and I think it looks really good. And then these grasses came from Prairie Grass stamp set, and I just fussy cut around them to add some grasses there. And the inside looks like this. So that's, again, the same kind of idea where you've got something behind and your scenery in front, just a little bit different. And it was just simply because the paper dictated that I needed a longer scenery piece. Okay, so those are my cards today. Inspiration from the catalog and using Relaxing Waterside. All right, I hope everybody has a great week.